I'm Ed Morrissey from Hot Air, former Blogger of the Year at CPAC in 2010, speaking with Bloguero del Año, the new king of the hill here, Javier Manjarres of the Shark Tank, thesharktank.net, right?
Correct.
And I was privileged to hand the award over to you yesterday afternoon. Congratulations, first off, on a great year in blogging, on a very successful year in blogging. Tell us a little bit about who you had to pay off to get this award, you know.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you, Ed, for those kind words. All lies, of course.
All lies.
As far as the payoff, it was actually a trade-off.
A trade-off, okay.
I spoke to the real people behind Hot Air, Alapundit, and Town Hall, and it's a matter of how many times a month I can actually wash the cars up here, come up here and fly wash the cars. So that's a trade-off.
That's how I got mine last year.
Yeah, really? I thought I was unique.
It's the untold story behind the CPAC Blogger of the Year award. No, I mean seriously, you did some great work in Florida. Tell us a little bit about Florida. Not just Marco Rubio's race, but Rick Scott, Alan West. You were in the tip of the spear, as you said.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to have. Well, actually, we were all fortunate enough to have these type of conservative candidates in Florida. Alan West, like you mentioned, Marco Rubio, Rick Scott, a lot of other ones like Attorney General Pam Bondi. We pulled a coup down here, and again, I was fortunate enough to have their ear, if you would, and they trusted in us what we were doing, and they gave us the action that we needed to get their message across.
Now, rumor has it that you may have ruffled a feather or two down in Florida while you were grabbing these stories. I mean, I've seen you. I mean, I read your blog constantly. It's on my blog roll because all of these Florida races were vital to the Tea Party movement, and especially Rubio's race for lots of different reasons. And you were doing great reporting, but you were sort of doing the camera in the face, asking the tough questions, maybe not necessarily making a whole lot of friends down in Florida. Tell us a little bit about how you approach that.
I think you're referring to Governor Charlie Crist.
You know, the one man in Florida who may have a better tan than you do.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Mine comes naturally somewhat.
I know.
No, but we actually, like you said, we stuck the camera in people's faces. Charlie Crist, a lot of other candidates,
right?
Because we had to report the news, and a lot of the times we asked the tough questions, whether they answered the questions or not. In his case, he refused to answer a lot of the questions, but sometimes towards the end of his campaign, he just decided to just go off the deep end and just made comments that really we caught as we saw as video gold. But then again, back to what you said as far as answering the tough questions, yes, you have to do. I mean, if you want to be considered respectable and a reporter or a journalist, if you would, you can't be afraid of asking those tough questions.
Right. And this is the reason why you were on everybody's mind for Blogger of the Year this year, is because you weren't just taking media reports and doing analysis, which is great. You know, you're doing some of that as well down there, but you were out actually reporting news. You're out there on the campaign trail, grabbing the video, getting the stories, and publishing them out. And actually, you helped shape some of the media coverage of those races down there in Florida. Give us a great example of something that you reported that the media picked up on.
Well, a lot of instances that were picked up on Fox News, for instance, like just a couple weeks back when I broke the story on Marco, when he's wasn't going to join the Tea Party caucus.
Right.
As far as Charlie Crist saying that when he mocked the Republican Party after he jumped ship and became an independent, he mocked the Republican Party by saying, "Thank God he wasn't a Republican anymore." We were able to catch Debbie Wasserman Schultz, the beloved Debbie Wasserman Schultz, referred to Tea Partiers as swastika slinging conservatives, if you would, and that made big news because I mean, but we were fortunate to be in the Johnny on the spot, if you would, or Juani on the spot, if you would. But you know, and again, I have to credit a lot of these candidates like Marco and Rick Scott, who, especially on Marco's campaign on bus tour, instead of being under the bus most of the time like I usually was, they let me get on the bus and get access to them, and it was fun.
Marco is an interesting case because I got a chance to interview him really early, and I want to thank one of our good friends, Val Prieto of Babalu Blog.
And Machete.
Yes, who linked me up with Marco very early on and said, "You got to have him on your show." I talked to the guy and he's like, "Wow, I mean, I was blown away talking to him on the phone." And he's a different kind of candidate. I mean, he really is good at reaching out to people and getting people giving them access, and not in a demanding sort of way, but just saying, hey, come on here, take a good look. You're going to like what you see. Report what you like, but you're going to like what you see. Getting people involved in that. Right?
Well, he was very genuine. He was very open. He wasn't afraid to answer any questions. I mean, he's a great candidate. He was able to answer all the questions. Didn't dodge any questions like a lot of candidates tend to do. Again, honest guy, genuine. I've got to know him personally. I consider him a friend. But he is who he is. What you see on camera is who Marco Rubio is, and that's what he believes in. And he took a lot of heat, for instance, like on the immigration bill when the Arizona law passed. He took a lot of heat from me also because I thought he was getting off on the wrong foot there, and he came back, he backtracked, explained his position, and people saw the genuineness in his message there.
Do you think that this process, I mean, the process that you went through in Florida, Florida was a big, important state. And do you think that the process that you saw in Florida, do you think that other bloggers are going to have the opportunity to not just do the types of things that you did, but also to shape the kind of candidates and to create the kind of candidates, if you will, or find the kind of candidates that we found with Marco Rubio and Alan West, people who are, do you think that whole process is going to create a whole new class of open, transparent candidates like we saw with Marco Rubio?
Well, we hope so. As far as other bloggers, again, you have to, in a way, prove yourself. It took me a long time to get that kind of access. And I was fortunate enough to have people like you disseminate a lot of these videos and pieces that we wrote. It takes time because, with any campaign, these candidates are in fear of that one gotcha moment, of making that one slip that's going to end their campaign. So if they grow to trust you, they're going to be more open with you. They're going to be more transparent and give you the news that will help them and help your cause out also. That was what I was fortunate to have with a slew of candidates. So it's going to, for bloggers out there, it's going to take a while for them to get out there. And most candidates will not trust you right off the bat. You're going to have to work for it.
Javier, if you were to, I mean, there's a lot of new bloggers here. There's a lot of prospective bloggers here. I know one that came out all the way from Minnesota who's thinking about blogging. And I mean, you're a successful blogger now. I mean, you've really made it. What advice would you give a new blogger or prospective blogger? What piece of advice would you give them that you learned in this past year?
Well, I give the advice that Rush Limbaugh gave me. Go with what, if you're going to delve into it as a political career, political media career, have fun. Make sure it's something you want to do. Do it. If you love what you're doing, do it. Have fun at it. Be honest. Be very transparent in what your intentions are. No gotcha moments. Someone wants a gotcha moment, they're going to come. Right. And be very respectful of the candidates, regardless if they're a Democrat, liberal Democrat, conservative, Republican, independent. Just be respectful, take the answers, what they give you, take it for what it is, because it'll open up more opportunities moving forward with those candidates. Javier
Manjarres, the Shark Tank is at thesharktank.net. Great Florida blog. If you haven't been following it, believe me, its best days are ahead of it. He had a great year. CPAC's Blogger of the Year, deservedly so. And my friend, Javier Manjarres, thanks for being with us here.
Thanks for those kind words.
More from CPAC later on from hotair.com.